It is not always possible to understand at a glance what is really going on. Don't rush to judge someone until you understand the reasons why they act in a certain way. The story begins with the fact that 35-year-old Stephanie Smith became the mother of her beloved son Isaiah. The woman doted on her baby, who grew up a beautiful and healthy boy. For Stephanie, it was a long-awaited child, to whom she gave all her care and love. But if everything had been as good and further, we would hardly be discussing this story now. When the baby was a few months old, strange things began to happen to him. A painful spot appeared on the child's skin, which was constantly growing, causing terrible discomfort. The rash began to spread throughout the body, aggravating the situation. The woman tried to fight a skin problem. For this, she went to the doctors. She was prescribed ointments and creams with which to treat the baby. However, nothing helped, and the doctors could not say exactly what was happening to the child. As a result, the rash covered most of the body, the skin began to bleed heavily. Doctors diagnosed a severe form of eczema. The baby was prescribed steroid ointments. The drugs had a strong effect. It would seem that the child should have become easier. However, this did not happen. Yes, at the very beginning of treatment, the rash became smaller in size, but very soon the spots grew even more. In addition, Isaiah's hair began to fall out. Doctors who prescribed questionable treatment simply did not know what to do with the child. As Stephanie said, the doctors continued to assert, albeit not as confidently as before, that Isaiah had eczema. But the drugs that were supposed to cure the disease did not help. 5 months after the therapy began, Stephanie discovered that the baby's skin began to tear, opening deep wounds. The child had to be sent to the hospital. However, the attack was only removed there, the wounds were healed, but it was not possible to cure Isaiah. Stephanie has experimentally found out only one effective way to relieve the pain of her child. Mom lowered the baby into the sink, watering him with a jet of water. This brought relief, although it did not solve the problem. Only in the water did the baby calm down and stop crying. That's why the woman spent many hours in the bathroom with her baby. But many people were puzzled by this method, and they believed that Stephanie was not herself. Stephanie couldn't touch the baby because it hurt him. The baby cried from touching, so Mom tried not to disturb him. The child looked as if he simply had no skin. It was terrible, and the doctors couldn't find a way out. Stephanie saw that the doctors did not know what was wrong with her child. She decided to act on her own. The woman began to study the information that she came across on the internet. Stephanie was sitting on the forums of moms, where she accidentally found something that changed the situation. The woman caught the eye of photos of babies with similar skin problems. It turned out that the cause of the terrible wounds and ulcers were steroid drugs. It was with such means that her son was treated. Women whose children were affected by steroids shared their experiences with others. Unhappy mothers wrote that after the end of taking medications, the rash intensified. This was the key to what was happening to Isaiah. Stephanie stops giving the child drugs at her own risk, which apparently were contraindicated to him, continuing to relieve his pain under a stream of water. The woman also turned to folk medicine and began to use natural remedies. The boy's skin gradually began to clear, terrible spots and bleeding rashes began to pass. There were 9 months left before a complete cure. Stephanie continued to save her son with folk remedies, began to take the baby in her arms. After the child was examined by doctors, who were very surprised by the result, the boy turned out to be completely healthy. Now Stephanie constantly holds him in her arms and kisses him because it no longer gives the child discomfort. That's how maternal love and care, incessant attempts to save the baby, the search for the right solution helped Isaiah to heal. Although the woman was able to help her child, it is worth noting that very often the arbitrariness of parents and the confidence that they themselves know everything leads to deplorable consequences. Therefore, always, first of all, you need to contact qualified doctors. That's all, friends. Share this video with your loved ones. It's always nice to listen to hard stories that end very well.